So today in this class we are going to be covering different examples on single dimensional array. So yesterday we covered what is single dimensional array and how to declare it and how to initialize it we covered. So today we are going to be covering different examples. So how can we use single dimensional array in our real time scenarios. So out of the first example I will show you sum and average of given list of items. So this is the first example I want to cover today. So in this I will take the one float array. So the array which contains the float values, and I want to find the sum and average of the respective list of values, and I want to display the result. So this is the first example I am going to be covering in the today video. And second example is min and maximum value finding. We'll take the one list of values, and out of the list of values we want to find the minimum value and as well as maximum value. Okay, and then as a third example we are going to be covering counting. So counting of specific element. So we'll consider a list of values. Out of the particular list of values, if I want to count any specific value, like example, I want to I want to search the value and how many times it is recurring, I want to display it. So that is the third example. Yeah, now we will see the one by one examples. So first I am going to be creating an example for sum and average of the float value arrays. So right click on the package name. So you can create a new class. So there I'm giving sum and average of float values I'm giving, and I'm enabling public static void main. So now we'll start the example. So see, as usual we want to take the dynamic input, so that I'm importing the respective package called util package. So util dot start, and then we want to declare the variables. See, as usual, as I said, so here we want to read the some set of values. So how many we don't know, so we want to take that size from the keyboard dynamically, and for the given size we want to read the data by using for loop, and finally we are doing the sum and average. So that work we are doing now. So for that I'm defining first as a size as a variable, and then I for iteration, iterating the respective value using for loop, and then I'm going for sum initialized with 0, and then average. So sorry, so here these two are integers, but I want to define the float array, am I right? So for that, float sum is equal to 0 and also average. So these are the two more variables I want to define. So now to read the input from the keyboard, we have to define the scanner class, that is scanner object. So scanner input is equal to new scanner within the brackets system dot in. So now system dot out dot println, enter the size of array, and then we have to store that into size variable. So size is equal to input dot, because it is an integer, so next int. So we got the size. So now what we have to do, whenever we got the size from the keyboard, now we need to allocate the memory for the respective size, because we have to store the information in the respective array. So for that we have to define one float array. So how I'm defining, see here, so float array name, let's take, I'm giving values as a, I'm taking an array, so values of is equal to new, again I'm taking float of, so whatever the size is given by the client, that I'm initializing, that is size parameter. So two steps are completed. So first step is size reading from the keyboard, and second thing array initialization, and now I'm going for third step. So third step is reading the input data from the keyboard. So for that I'm taking system.out.println. So enter how many values we don't know exactly, because the size always will coming from keyboard, that is dynamically. So just I mentioned size as a variable, so that it will take from the respective input. So size values. So now whatever the data he entered from the keyboard, that we need to read from the keyboard. So for that we are using for loop, because we have more values. So for I equal to 0, always arrays index starts with 0, ends with size minus 1. So ends with means I less than size, so that means stopped with size minus 1, and each time we should increment by 1, so I plus plus, and now within the loop we have to read that value and store into the respective array. So array is here, values of is equal to, we have to write input dot next float, because we are reading the float values, and how many times we are going to be doing, that many times they has to read, so I'm defining as a I iterator value. So reading completed. So first task, so even you can maintain the comments for better understanding also, there is no doubt. So variable declaration, first one. Second one is size reading. Third one array creation, and the next one data reading. So now finally we have to implement our logic. What is the logic? Sum and average calculation. So for that, again we have to turn the loop. So for I equal to reinitialized with 0, because here it will be already I reached to the size minus 1. So if I'm directly starting with I, it is starting with size minus 1, so it is giving an error called array index out of bounds. That means whenever you are working with array, commonly you are getting an exception called array index out of bounds exception error. That means if you are trying to access the data which is not there in the within the limits, that means you are trying to access by index number, but that index number not in the size, then it may raise an error called array index out of bounds exception. And now I'm writing I less than size I plus plus, and now first I'm going to be printing the respective data, whatever we are reading from the keyboard, just I want to print. So for that I'm taking values of I, and every time I want to give some space, so I'm giving 2 spaces, and parallelly I want to do the sum of the respective values, so that only I can find the average. So that I'm reinitializing with sum is equal to sum plus the whatever the value we are getting here, that I'm going to be storing into respective parameter, the values of I. So now finally I'm calculating average. So average is equal to, obviously the formula sum of the values by number of the values. So here number of the values is size, sum of the values will be sum. So now finally I'm displaying sum and average. So here sum is equal to plus sum, and here plus space, and average is equal to plus avg. So this is the way how you are calculating the data, and after that finally I'm closing the input object what we opened previously, so input dot close. So this is the way how you are getting the data, and here even you can give that system dot out dot println given values are. So this is the way of writing the code for the array. So first see, once again I will explain the complete code. See, listen first. So the basic logic, the question is I want to read the set of values from the keyboard which are float, and I want to find the sum and average. So for that I'm doing that, first I'm declaring the size and I value, size to read the size of the array dynamically from the keyboard, and I'm now calculating sum and average. For that I'm defining two variables called sum and average which are of float type, and then I'm defining the scanner object and I'm reading the size value, and with that size I declare the float here. So here I declare the size respective array, and then after whatever the array we declare, to that I'm filling the information by reading from the keyboard. So this is the way how I'm doing that, and after that I'm calculating the sum and average by adding the value by value using the for loop, and then finally I'm calculating the average and displaying the results. So now we will run this code, see what is happening. Yeah, see here, so enter the size of the array. So now I'm giving just like 4 values I'm giving, so enter that 4 values. So I'm giving 1.2, 2.3, let's take 3.1 and 2.2. so these are the 4 values I entered here. So now you see given values are 1.2, 2.3, 3.1, 2.2, and sum equal to 8.8, and average is equal to 2.2. So like that we can do the summation and average of the multiple values by using the arrays. So see here, so now we are going for second example. So that is minimum value and maximum value out of the array. Okay, so how to create the minimum and maximum we'll see now. So now new class, so min max I'm defining as a class, public static void main, and here again same process, import java dot util dot star, and then we have to define the variable as similar to previous example, int size comma I, and here I want to calculate minimum value and maximum value, and then after as usual we are defining the input object, so that is scanner object equal to new scanner within the bracket system dot in. So now system dot out dot println enter size of array, and that again I'm going to be storing into size equal to input dot next int, and then we have to define the array, so int I'm defining as a list is equal to new int of size, so here size is the parameter called size, and then after we want to read the data, so further system dot out dot println enter size values, and now we have to read the data, so for that for I equal to 0, I less than size I plus plus, and then system dot out dot println, sorry, here we are going to be reading the data, so list of I is equal to input dot next int, and now finally we have to calculate the minimum and maximum value. So see here, so this is the logic what we want expected here, so we need to find the minimum and maximum. So what is the logic means, very simple one. See here I'm going to be explaining the simple way logic the what we are using. So see here, so let us assume that input is, first we are giving input, so that is what is that, enter the size of array, am I right? So this is the what we are expecting to coming. So now we are giving, let's take example 5 I'm giving, so now immediately it is asking enter 5 values. So now let us assume that I entered as 10, 40, let's take 20, 30, let's take I'm giving 25. So here like that I given the input, so my output now is, what is my output? So minimum value min is equal to, I'm expecting that 10, and max is equal to I'm expecting as a 40. So this is my input and output for this particular program. So to get this output, what is the logic means, very simple. So first what I'm doing means, I'm assuming that minimum as a first value. So what is the first value here? 10. So here I'm assuming that the minimum value by default with the 10, that is the first value, and I'm comparing with this 10 with the remaining all other elements. So whenever if some other element is less than this element, I'm replacing that value to the minimum value. If not, I'm continuing the same process. So assume that now coming to the point, first value, what is the first value? Already 10, we covered this one. So now coming to the second, what is the value? 40. So is it 10 less than 40, sorry, is it 10 greater than 40? అంటే ద మీనింగ్ ఏంటి, ఇక్కడ ఉన్న 40 కంటే 10 అనేది పెద్దదైతే అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటి, అవర్ అజంప్షన్ ఇస్ రాంగ్. సో దట్ మీన్స్ వాట్ ఎవర్ we consider as a minimum value, that is wrong assumption, so we need to replace it. But here 40 is greater than 10, it's not less than 10, so our assumption is right, just keep on next value. So what is the next value? 20. So is it 20 less than 10? No. So again continue the third value. So is it 30 less than the 10? No. So again continue the And is it 25 less than 10? No. Continue. So is there any other value? No in the list. So that means our loop is terminated. So finally the minimum value will be 10 only. So first we are comparing with each and every value. If the value is smaller than the assumption minimum value, then we are replacing it, or otherwise just we are moving on the loop. So same way we are also calculating max. So max is equal to, also initially we are doing with 10. So now is it 10? Now reverse condition. So initially if it is more than, we are replacing. If now it is less than, we are replacing, because we require maximum. So is it 10 less than 40? Yes. So we are replacing 10 with 40. Now again 40 with compare with 20. So is it 40 less than 20? No. Is it 40 less than 30? No. Is it 40 less than 25? No. So finally maximum value will be 40. So the same logic, and what we are doing, simply we are just comparing with each and every value what we have in the list. If it is found our assumption is wrong, we are replacing value. If not, we are continuing the same loop for the end value. The same logic I am doing here. So see here, first I am assuming that min is equal to max is equal to, I am considering as a first value, because that is list of 0. So in our case, now I am comparing with from first value to last value. So for that I am writing a loop for I equal to 1 first value to last value, that is first value in the sense second value in the first index number. So I less than size, I plus plus. So up to the size we have to compare. So now if I am doing for minimum values comparison, if, so the given value, what is the given value here? List of I. So is list of I less than minimum, and that means the whatever we assumed the value that is there in the min, the next value will be there in the list of I. So list of I less than min, in the sense our assumption value is wrong. So that means we have to replace with min is equal to, we have to write list of I. So like that you will continue until you are getting last value. So it will keep on replacing with the minimum value if it is satisfied the condition. So same way, if I am writing if list of I, so reverse, greater than max, so then obviously we have to do the reverse case, that is max is equal to list of I. So this is the way how you are getting the data. So finally after completion of this particular loop, so we are getting minimum and maximum value. So finally, and after for loop we have to write statement called system.out.println. So min is equal to plus minimum, and as I said we require max also. So max is equal to comma max. So now we are going to be running the program. See here. So see here, enter the size of the array. Let's take example here. I'm giving 5. So now enter 5 values. Let's take example. I'm giving 25. So 85 and 45 and 30, and I'm giving only 5. So now you see minimum is equal to 5 and maximum equal to 85. So like that we can have the work on this code. So we can go for one more execution. See here, 5, enter 5 values. See here, let's take I'm giving 20, 50, 75, 1, and I'm giving 85. So now you see minimum is equal to 1 and maximum equal to 85. So like that we can find the minimum and maximum values out of the respective array what we defined as a list. See the third example, counting of the respective value. Let us assume that we are taking some particular list of data. So out of the list of data, how many times the respective given value is repeatedly is there, we will now find it. So for that I'm taking some already we covered with some dynamic list like dynamically data. Now we will work with some static list. Import as usual java.util.star, and here I'm writing int I for iteration, and I'm defining a x to read the value for find the count, and I'm statically define one array. So int list is equal to, so here I'm writing directly. So see here 10, 20, 30, 40, again 10, 20, 10. Let's take, this is my array. So if you want to define some static array, so this is the approach how we are using to store the data. So now I'm defining scanner object to read the input from the keyboard. So scanner input is equal to new scanner within the brackets system dot in and system dot order println, enter any element. So see here Nana, here we are also going to be covering in this example only linear search. So linear search and as well as we are going to be covering counting, both the things will be in this example. So what do you mean by counting? The particular given value is how many times it is repeated. But before that also we need to consider whether that element is present or not. See, if it is not present, that also we need to tell to the customer that given value is not available in the list. So like that we have to compare the each and every value. If match is done, then we have to tell them the search is completed. If not, we have to repeat it for end of the value. So like that I'm executing the logic here. See here. So enter any element. So that element I'm going to be storing in x. So x is equal to input dot. So next int. So now you see, for we have to start with first value. So that is I equal to 0 and I less than size and I plus plus. So now I'm comparing with that particular value. Here size is not defined. See here. Here we don't have any variable called size. So if I'm giving static way, like how many elements are there? 7. But if I'm changing the here number of elements, again I need to change the here the size. So instead of that, we can go for list dot length. So there is a inbuilt property called length. So length will return the size of the array by default. Okay. So now I'm comparing with the respective value. So if x is equal to list of I. What it mean? Whatever the value be given into the keyboard, is that value matched with the respective series of values I'm comparing. So if match is done, what we have to do? We need to make it a count. So for that, I am doing a count variable. I am defining a count variable with initializing with 0. So now here I am just incrementing count plus plus. So now simply we can go for, see, it's value by value it will compare, and it is starting from 0 and ending with size minus 1. So that's the reason we called it as a linear search. Linear means one by one comparison, step by step comparison. So now finally, if count is having at least 1 or 2 something, then the element is there and the respective count will be displayed. If the count is not incremented by at least 1, that means it remains 0 only, so that is indicating that element is not there in the respective list. So now I'm comparing that. So if count is equal to 0, so we can display system.out.println element not found, else system.out.println element found plus count plus times. So this is a simple logic for counting the a value in a specific array. So now we'll run this program. So enter any element. I'm giving, see here, something which is not there in 18 I'm giving. So now you see that element not found. So let us assume that I'm giving now 10. So now element found 3 times, because see here 10, 1, 2, 3. So like that now I'm giving 20. So element found 2 times. So if I'm giving 30, so element found only one time. So based on the value we can display the data. So this is also called linear search, and this is also for counting the variable. Even if you want to only search, as yesterday I told you in example, we can also maintain some flag variable, like if it is making 0 or 1, by that also we can do the linear search. So linear search is simply comparison by value, that's very simple logic. Okay. So